to invade. Today, thousands of Ukrainians took to the streets in what was dubbed a unity protest here in Kyiv, condemning Russian President Vladimir Putin for moving some 140,000 troops in Ukraine's border and at sea. They chanted, "Glory to Ukraine." The banner said, "Ukrainians will resist." Now, President Biden has ordered some 3,000 additional paratroopers from the 82nd Airborne Division based at Fort Bragg to Poland. Other troops are heading to Romania. Those are NATO countries on Ukraine's border, of course. While the U.S. military is bolstering forces in NATO countries, it's pulling the small number of troops already here in Ukraine, Molly. Today, the Pentagon said all 160 members of the Florida National Guard who are here training Ukrainian troops would be evacuating immediately. Now, we have just learned this Russian improved Kilo-class submarine is making her way into the Black Sea today. It's known as the Black Hole because the submarine is so quiet. Launched in 2014, she's capable of launching Caliber cruise missiles similar to U.S. Navy's Tomahawk cruise missiles. The former head of U.S. Army Europe says he expects an invasion of Ukraine to come from the sea from those amphibious warships already out there, and this is how it'll begin.
They will be using cyber, they will be using sabotage, they will be using disinformation to create havoc and confuse us, but I just don't think they have the capability to capture Kyiv.
That said, when you walk the streets of this capital city like I did today, it all feels very calm. In fact, I saw a couple getting married. They looked pretty happy, Molly.
Lucas, well, congratulations to them, of course. But I've been startled to see some of your reporting in recent nights. You know, people out at restaurants, baristas making coffee. You know, is there a sense of everything getting on as normal? And here at the same time, we see these pictures of what look to be fairly young teenage boys with wooden guns preparing for the potential for urban warfare. What is it like there on the ground?
Well, Molly, earlier today, our colleague Jason Scanlon and I went to a shopping mall and a grocery store here in the city to just, test the water, see what the atmosphere was like. It looked pretty normal. It did not look like, for example, a grocery store in Northern Virginia at the threat of a snowstorm and, all the fruit's gone. There was plenty of produce on the shelves, plenty of meat, plenty of products, and we did not see, hoarding taking place. It all seemed very calm. You saw the Unity March today. The citizens we saw on the streets, everybody seemed pretty relaxed. I walked up to a number of strangers and then asked them, like, are you afraid of a Russian invasion? Most people just shook their heads. Some people were concerned. Some say they packed bags and they are ready to flee if they have to, but most of them said, bring it on. In fact, one gentleman I spoke to, when I asked about the Russians, he said he has a number of guns in his safe at home. Of course, he doesn't have short-range ballistic missiles like the Russians do, Molly.
Wow. Just one more quick follow-up question. As the United States urges U.S. citizens to get out and the Russians are pulling their people out as well, David Spunt was just reporting. Here you see Ukrainian citizens essentially going on about their lives. Is there a sense that they believe what Putin is doing in the big buildup is propaganda, that nothing's really going to happen here, or are they just ready for whatever happens, whatever eventuality?
Well, I've asked that question to a number of people, and the answer I get time and time again is, we've been at Russia. This is what Ukraine is saying. We've been at Russia for the last 8 years, of course, in the east, in the Donbass area, of course, when Russia annexed the Crimean Peninsula. So for a lot of Ukrainian citizens, they think they've been at war. Of course, what we're hearing out of the Pentagon right now in Washington is a far cry from what these citizens are used to. I mean, if what Jake Sullivan said is accurate,
Russia could be launching airstrikes with fighter jets, Su-35 flankers, short-range ballistic missiles. There's just a massive number of troops. We heard from General Breedlove earlier on Fox News, the former NATO Supreme Allied Commander. He says for a long time, just like the satellite images you showed in the intro, you see all these Russian forces massing, look like the cars, the vehicles, the tanks are all together. He says those were just for the satellites to create the hype. Now we're seeing those forces in a more tactical formation poised to strike. What U.S. officials are telling me tonight here in Ukraine, that Russian invasion of Ukraine, of this country, could be coming as soon as Wednesday, and they could be coming to the capital city.
Lucas Tomlinson, thank you for your reporting and for getting out there and bringing us the stories of the Ukrainian people right now in this critical time. Lucas, thank you. Eric?
Well, it does not seem that President Biden's more than an hour-long call with Putin gave the Russian strongman second thoughts. Here, Republican Congressman John Kakos with us, ranking member of the House Homeland Security Committee. So, Congressman, the president warned Putin, we're told, of severe costs if he invades, but the White House says Putin has not changed his mind. Do you see anything in this late hour that could potentially prevent an invasion?
Unfortunately, I do not think so. I think we're at the point now where we're going to have to try and deal with the aftermath. And the concern I have is that this is symptomatic of a larger problem with this administration. They really don't have a cohesive.
Allison, thank you for your reporting and for getting out there and bringing us the stories of the Ukrainian people right now. Lucas, thank you. Eric?
Well, it does not seem that President Biden will how long call it here. Give the Russian strongman second thoughts. Here's Republican Congressman Cackos, with ranking member of the House Homeland Security Committee. So, Congressman, the President warned Putin, we're told, of severe costs in 3 days, but the White House says Putin has not changed his mind. Do you see anything in this late hour that could potentially prevent demonstration?
Unfortunately, I do not think so. I think we're at the point now we're going to have to try and deal with the aftermath. And the concern I have is that this is symptomatic of a larger problem with this administration. They really don't have a cohesive.
Dug in because he wants to have the Soviet Union empire back, even if it means chewing off a bite of Ukraine.
Yeah, I think clearly Putin has imperialistic type ambitions. There's no doubt about that. But I think you got to look at what President Biden has said to Putin through the lens of his past actions as president. Look how he handled the Afghanistan debacle. Look how he hasn't responded to major cyber attacks on this country from China and from Russia. And look how he's basically taken his very appeasement type tone when in the Iran nuclear deals, trying to get back into a deal that was terrible to begin with. So if you're Putin and you're looking at those actions, you're kind of trying to decide, is he serious or is he really going to follow through with these things? And when Germany was at the White House last week, President Biden, said emphatically there would be no new pipeline coming in from Russia if Russia goes into Ukraine. Well, the German chancellor was right there, and he didn't affirm that statement. He didn't emphatically state that. So that's my concern, and I think those are the kinds of things that Putin is weighing right now. And unfortunately, when you have a president that's not projecting strength, things like this are going to happen.
What do you think Putin's going to do? I mean, how far will he go? Will he just try to bite off 1 or 2 provinces? Will he go all the way to the Dnieper River, which is basically half of the country, and not go into Kyiv? What do you think we're going to be seeing over the next few weeks?
I'll be surprised at this standpoint if they do nothing. I think they will probably go in. The question is to what extent and how far. And we've drawn a line supposedly, and we've said, look, if you go in anywhere into Ukraine, there's going to be massive consequences for you. Let's see what those consequences are, and let's see if we can have that unity that I hope we still have. But this president this is a very important point in his presidency. And if he doesn't respond with strength and isn't able to unite his Western allies on this, we got a real problem in our hands. And I think it's a sad day when we have to tell the 30,000 Americans in the Ukraine, we can't guarantee your safety because of malign actions of somebody like Putin. That's a sad day for me.
And finally, let's talk about the Russian view just for a second. I mean, you've got the Ukrainians dug in, seemingly not taking it as seriously, but the president there has called up 100,000 more troops, and they promise bloodshed and guerrilla warfare in the streets of their country to defend Ukraine. What happens if Russia's still coming back in body bags? Could there be a boomerang on Putin for this adventure?
Well, that's a big risk for Putin because he's also risking his economy. Energy prices aren't always going to stay this high, and he just came out of a very bad economic downturn. And if if we follow through on our sanctions, would cause a huge economic downturn for Russia. You couple that with a lot of their soldiers coming back in body bags for what reason, and then you might start seeing the bloom off the rose of Putin. But he's not a democracy like we have in the United States, and quite frankly, that's not as big a consideration for him as would be for someone who has a free and open democracy like we have in the United States.
Congressman John Katko of New York, we will see what happens over the next 72 hours, a very tense time, of course. Congressman, good to see you, and thank you.
You too.
Of course. Molly?
Back to one of our top stories. Police in Canada are trying to clear the trucker protest blocking a key trade route in the United States. Members of the so-called Freedom Convoy have been jamming traffic for weeks and are now defying a judge's order to go home. We have Alexis McAdams. She joins us from a very chilly Ottawa with more on this story as the protesters remain on the ground. Alexis.
Hi, Molly. Well, you know very well, you were also here in Ottawa. It is cold, but that's not stopping these crowds from showing up. And we saw thousands of new protesters just out here today sending a very strong message to the Canadian government that they've had enough of the mandates and they want to go back to their normal life. But the police have told these protesters several times that they have to leave because they're blocking critical infrastructure and blocking areas right in front of Parliament. But those crowds here behind me getting very excited and honking their horns. So we'll see how this all plays out here. But the police have said that they have to leave, and if they don't, they're going to face some hefty fines. We talked earlier as well with Justin Trudeau, or heard from the Prime Minister.
Like you see, guys. And once I press on Q again, I am muted again. So these are some simple tricks and basic tricks which you can do to mute yourself on people. And now I'm unmuted like you see, guys. Out. I just applied it. So I'm gonna press on W right now, and now I'm unmuted like you see, guys. And once I press on Q again, I am muted again. So these are some simple tricks and basic tricks which you can do to mute yourself on OBS Studios. It's really that simple, guys, and I'm gonna end the video. So let's just go ahead and change this back.
Of New York, we will see what happens in the next 72 hours.
So if you get this, guys, I actually clicked on backspace, but once you click on backspace, it's gonna have this problem right now. So what you do is you just click on this, or just click on this trash over here. So now it's completely gone. Click on apply, and now once you press on Q or W, you don't have that problem.
So this is how simple it actually is. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Also, please drop a like, subscribe, and take care of yourself. Also, guys, if you have a question, just drop them in the comments down below.
She joins us from a very chilly Ottawa with more on this story as the protesters remain on the ground. Alexis.
Hi, Molly. Well, you know very well, you were also here in Ottawa. It is cold, but that's not stopping these crowds from showing up. And we saw thousands of new protesters just out here today sending a very strong message to the Canadian government that they've had enough of the mandates and they want to go back to their normal life. But the police have told these protesters several times that they have to leave because they're blocking critical infrastructure and blocking areas right in front of Parliament. But those crowds here behind me getting very excited and honking their horns. So we'll see how this all plays out here. But the police have said that they have to leave, and if they don't, they're going to face some hefty fines. We talked earlier as well with Justin Trudeau, or heard from the Prime Minister.
Like you see, guys. And once I press on Q again, I am muted again. So these are some simple tricks and basic tricks which you can do to mute yourself on people. And now I'm unmuted like you see, guys. Out. I just applied it. So I'm gonna press on W right now, and now I'm unmuted like you see, guys. And once I press on Q again, I am muted again. So these are some simple tricks and basic tricks which you can do to mute yourself on OBS Studios. It's really that simple, guys, and I'm gonna end the video. So let's just go ahead and change this back.
Of New York, we will see what happens in the next 72 hours.
So if you get this, guys, I actually clicked on backspace, but once you click on backspace, it's gonna have this problem right now. So what you do is you just click on this, or just click on this trash over here. So now it's completely gone. Click on apply, and now once you press on Q or W, you don't have that problem.
So this is how simple it actually is. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Also, please drop a like, subscribe, and take care of yourself. Also, guys, if you have a question, just drop them in the comments down below.
She joins us from a very chilly Ottawa with more on this story as the protesters remain on the ground. Alexis.
Hi, Molly. Well, you know very well, you were also here in Ottawa. It is cold, but that's not stopping these crowds from showing up. And we saw thousands of new protesters just out here today, sending a very strong message to the Canadian government that they've had enough of the mandates and they want to go back to their normal life. But the police have told these protesters several times that they have to leave because they're blocking critical infrastructure and blocking areas right in front of Parliament. But those crowds here behind getting very excited and honking their horns. So we'll see how this all plays out here. The police have said that they have to leave, and if they don't, they're going to face some hefty fines. We talked earlier as well with Justin Trudeau. Heard from the Prime Minister.
And once I press on Q again, I am muted again. So these are some simple tricks and basic tricks which you can do to mute yourself on Q. And now I'm unmuted like you see guys. Out. I just applied it, so I'm gonna press on W right now. And now I'm unmuted like you see guys. And once I press on Q again, I am muted again. So these are some simple